For those of you who are new to the channel, I am making a slice and dice adventure platformer game featuring a satisfying slicing mechanic. The goal of the game is to save the world from evil. Pretty generic, I know. What I love about this game is that you can literally cut anything you want in this world. You don't like this tree? Bye-bye. Oh, this rock is too big? Not anymore. So if you want to keep up to date with more devlogs, please hit like and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. What's an action game without some sort of heavy attack mechanic? Games like Elden Ring and Black Myth Wukong all have a way for you to hold down a button to perform some bigger than usual attack. This allows the player to perform interesting attack combos rather than just spamming normal attacks. The coolest update in today's devlog is a new slam attack. When you use it, it consumes a special attack slot. And instead of slicing objects cleanly in half, it completely shatters it. To make it really look like a shatter, I start the cut from the center and then create different cuts at different angles outward like a spider web.
I think this looks pretty amazing and allows you to perform different type of cuts that aren't straight lines.
You have the flexibility to control how heavy you want to slam down. The longer you charge it, the stronger the attack becomes. So if you just tap it quickly, it's almost the same as a basic slash attack. But if it's fully charged, you can kill the goofy goblin in one single slam. Now that we have 4 simple moves added to the game, we have basic slash, backstep, dash attack, and a slam attack. We now have the possibility of creating our very own signature attack combos. So you can have slash slash, backstep, and then slam, or you can do a backstep, 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 and then a dash, or you can do slam and then slash slash. You can get pretty creative because when it comes to chain attacks, the sky's the limit. Depending on the enemy that you're fighting against, you can come up with specific sequence of attacks that can defeat them in the quickest way possible. So I'm really keen to see what sort of attack combos you guys can come up with when the game comes out. I really love it when game developers put in extra effort to make the world more immersive just by making the environment interactive. So now, slicing objects and defeating enemies may cause coins and other valuable items to drop. This allows the player to get used to the game mechanic of just cutting things up, and rewards them for exploring the world, slice things up, break shit and see what happens. Other than that, you can also find coins, hearts and stars littered across the entire map, which you can simply pick them up as you find them. I've added a fun little floating animation to them so that they don't look like they're part of the background, but something you can go and get. And the star you see here is extra special, so it's got this glowing rotating effect underneath as well, to really draw your attention. Next, this heart item is pretty self-explanatory. Can you guess what it does? And as for the coins, they will come in handy when I implement a shop and inventory system into the game. You can then sell unwanted useless items that you don't need, and then buy things like potions, armor, and weapons to fight stronger bosses. Thanks to a few of your suggestions, the goofy goblin can now drop a piece of meat after you defeat them. Right now when you pick it up, it doesn't do anything at all, so I have a question for you guys. Should I make it heal you when you pick it up, or should it just be something that you can sell for coins at the shop later on? The item drop system is all set up using weighted tables for every type of item in Godot. For example, when you kill a goofy goblin,
there's a 60% chance of not dropping any coins at all, and then 20% chance of dropping 1 coin, 14% chance of dropping 2 coins, 5% chance of dropping 3 coins, and then a small 1% chance of dropping 4 coins. And then we have another weighted table for hearts, so we have 90% chance of dropping no hearts at all, and then a 10% chance of dropping 1 single heart. Following that, we have another weighted table just for the meat, and so on and so on. We have 1 weighted table for every single item in the game.
With today's updates, we have major improvements to the background and the foreground, both containing multiple layers for a parallax effect to give the game a bit of depth. Here's how adding parallax effect to the background and the foreground can make a huge difference to the game world. Without either, the game world looks flat and plain. But once we start to add the background layers in, we can see that the world becomes bigger and bigger as we add each layer. And then the icing on the cake is the parallax foreground in front, which acts a bit like a border around the entire game window, which fully immerses the player into this grass biome. Since pixel art is not my strong suit, it kinda took me a long time to cook this up, and I feel proud of how nicely everything came out. And you probably can't notice this, but I've used a simple shader to blur the background and the foreground a little bit so the player can visually focus on the game level. Sort of like how when we look at something far away, the objects close to you are naturally not in focus, because our eyes can only focus at a specific distance at any one time. Right now, the game starts off in this grass biome with a strong green color palette. And in the future, I'm gonna add in desert biome, lava biome, snow biome, and so on, where each of these have their own main color palettes and enemies. So hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Let's talk about some other miscellaneous improvements I've made to the game to make the slicing effect more satisfying. Every time you hit an enemy or object, they would now, very quickly, flash and freezes for a few frames to really sell the impact. This is sort of like an impact frame that you see in games like Tekken and Street Fighter. This allows you to clearly see that a big object got sliced into two little pieces. Human beings are extremely visual creatures. We often overlook the importance of sound in a video game. Following the visual updates, I've also included some audio improvements in today's devlog. Turn up the volume and listen carefully. Does every swing attack sound the same to you? Although it's only an audio thing, but it can get pretty repetitive after some time. So how do we fix this without creating 10 different swing sound effects to cycle through? We can use a technique called pitch shift. Every time the swing sound effect is played, I randomly shift the pitch of the sound effect just a little bit to create a slightly different variation of the same sound. It's near impossible for each swing to sound the exact same again. It now sounds more natural and a bit different with each swing. Thank you so much for sticking to the end and finishing the video. If you found it interesting, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates. Alrighty, catch you in the next vlog. Peace.